Welcome to another Cold Case podcast. Today we're talking about Brandon Victor Swanson. Brandon was born on January the 30th of 1989 in Marshall, Minnesota. He's a son to Brian and Annette Swanson. Brandon was only 19 years old when he went missing. He was last seen in Marshall on May 14th of 2008. Brandon was a 2007 high school graduate of Marshall Senior High School. He was also a freshman enrolled in a one-year program in wind turbines at Minnesota West Community and Technical College in Canby, Minnesota. On May 13th of 2008, school ended. To celebrate, Brandon attended two parties his friends had thrown. The first party Brandon attended was in Lind, Minnesota, 7 miles from his home. Brandon left the party to attend another party 40 minutes away from Lind in Canby, Minnesota. The last sighting of Brandon. Brandon had consumed alcohol, according to his friends who attended both parties. His friends stated he was not intoxicated from what they could see. Brandon left by midnight to drive back home by himself. Brandon, a native of the area, knew the directions to get back home to Marshall, but he ran into trouble by crashing his Chevy Lumina into a small ditch. He was uninjured, not being able to get out of the ditch. Brandon called his parents at 1:45 a.m. to pick him up. He provided directions to where he was located. He said he was midway between Lind and Marshall, a 30-minute drive from his home. Both his parents drove to the area where Brandon had provided his whereabouts, but could not see him. Brian called Brandon and asked if he could see their headlights and honks, and Brandon said he heard and saw nothing. That's when his parents knew he had the wrong address, or wrong directions. Brandon was frustrated because he was confident he had provided the right directions to his parents. Brandon stayed on the phone with his mom and said he would leave his car and start walking toward the lights he could see in the distance, which he assumed was a town Lind. Brandon stayed on the phone with them for 47 minutes, and then around 2:30 a.m., Brandon screamed, "Oh shit!" And that's when the call ended. Brandon's father called back multiple times, but Brandon never picked up. Brandon's parents called the police at 6:30 a.m. to report him missing due to not hearing from him for hours and searching throughout the night. At the age of 19, Brandon was considered as an adult, so the police did not take the report seriously. A few hours later, the police agreed to open a missing persons case and started searching. Police obtained Brandon's cell phone records and concluded Brandon was not in Lind, not even close to the town. He was near a small town called Taunton, 25 miles away from Lind. Brandon's car was found in a ditch in Taunton, confirming the location. A ground search was launched by helicopters and bloodhounds were brought into the investigation. The dogs followed a scent trail through an abandoned farm and past fields leading to the river, Yellow Medicine River. The water was around 15 feet at the time. Brandon's case was handed over to the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Investigation in 2010. A tip line was set up, and by 2015, there were 90 leads reported, but nothing has turned up. Brandon's law, named for Brandon, was passed in 2008. The law requires Minnesota police to begin an immediate search for missing adults under 21, as well as older adults who are missing under suspicious circumstances. Also, I just wanted to add in to this that he was legally blind in one eye, and he left his glasses behind at the house before he went out to go party. So that might be another issue with the visual seeing things. Not quite sure. But Brandon's case is still remaining open and is unsolved. If you know anything regarding this case, please call FBI ViCAP, which is at 800-634-4097, or Lincoln County Sheriff's Department at 507-694-1000. 1664 or Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension at 651-793-7000. And I'll actually leave those in the description box as well, including the sources. Thank you so much again for listening to this podcast, and please like, share, and subscribe.